Before we get started, let's talk a little bit about this video series and this particular episode. This series is specifically targeted at people who are studying for the SAT and who are struggling, who are having trouble getting started. So we're focusing on the easy problems and the basic concepts. The video you're watching now is a companion piece to one we did earlier on circles and rectangles. If you haven't seen that tape, you should probably watch it first before you look at this video. As we discussed last time, the math section of the SAT starts with a series of formulas. You'll need to know all of these in order to answer the questions on the test. The good news is that you won't need to know a great deal more than this. In the last tape, we reviewed the two basic formulas you need for circles. The first is area. The formula reads A equals pi r squared, where A is the area, pi is an irrational number slightly bigger than 3, and r is the radius, the distance from the center of the circle to the edge. The second formula is circumference. Circumference equals 2 pi r. Circumference is the distance around the circle. Let's start with a simple example. We have a circle with radius 4. Find the area and circumference. We start with our formula for the area of a circle. A equals pi r squared. We just said radius equals 4, and r is radius. So that gives us area equals pi times 4 squared. 4 times 4 is 16, so area of this circle is 16 pi square units. This formula for circumference is 2 pi r. Once again, r's radius is 4 in this case, so it's 2 times pi times 4, or 2 times 4 times pi is 8 pi. Now let's try doing a different example. We're going to flip things over. Instead of starting with radius, we're going to start with area and see if we can work backwards and figure out what radius is. So, let's say the area is 49 pi. First thing we do is we look at the appropriate formula. A equals pi r squared. Well, area, or A, in this case is 49 pi. So we're going to write that formula again, but instead of A, we're going to write 49 pi. That gives us 49 pi equals pi r squared. Now remember, we're trying to figure out what r is. So to get r by itself, first thing we're going to do is divide both sides by pi. The pi is going to cancel out. That'll leave us 49 equals r squared. Now, we don't want r squared, we want r. So we're going to take the square root of both sides, and we'll get 7 equals r. Now, let's try a slightly more complicated problem. This is a kind of problem you'll see quite a bit on the SAT. They'll give you some kind of geometric figure, and part of it will be shaded. The question at that point is usually, what's the area of the shaded region? Now, normally the way we do this is we'll find the area of the whole shape, and we'll figure out what portion of it has been shaded, and then we'll put those two pieces of information together. We don't necessarily do it in that order. For example, let's look here. We've got a circle with radius 8, and that's a 30-degree angle there. Well, 30 degrees represents what part of the circle? Well, there are 360 degrees in a circle, so 30 degrees is 1/12. So 1/12 of that circle has been shaded. Now the question is, how big is the whole circle? Well, we go back to our area formula. Area equals pi r squared. R in this case is 8, so pi r squared is 64 pi. Now we just multiply 1/12 times 64 pi, and we get 64 pi divided by 12. If you're still confused, you might want to go back and look at the original video. If not, continue on to the next segment.